Introverts never declare it, they demonstrate it. When an introvert loves, their actions whisper louder than words ever could. Because of them, affection is not performed, it is perceived. They do not confess loudly, they do not chase with words, they express through presence. When an introvert likes you, it is not a storm of passion, it is a quiet current that runs deep. Psychology describes introversion as a pattern of internal energy focus, meaning they process emotion inwardly, not outwardly. For them, connection is not about visibility, it is about sincerity. While extroverts often express affection through enthusiasm, introverts operate through observation, emotional attunement, and trust building. They communicate care through stability, subtle patterns of showing up, checking in, and remembering details. In psychological terms, this reflects internalized attachment expression. Love that lives in silence, not spectacle. So, when an introvert likes you, it is not about being seen, it is about being understood. Part number 1. The quiet observation. When an introvert feels drawn to someone, their first instinct is not to engage, but to observe. This is rooted in selective social processing, a concept in social psychology describing how introverts evaluate emotional safety before forming bonds. They study your tone, your mannerisms, your conversational rhythm, collecting subtle data points that others overlook. They are not judging, they are decoding. It is their way of creating a psychological blueprint of you before emotional investment. This behavior protects them from social overstimulation, a state where too much unknown input triggers discomfort or anxiety. Through observation, they build predictability, which creates safety. And safety, for an introvert, is the foundation of attraction. They do not stare to invade, they observe to understand. Every glance, every silence is part of a quiet assessment. Is this connection genuine enough to trust? Part number 2. The subtle presence. When an introvert likes you, they seek proximity, not through words, but through consistent nearness. Psychologists call this passive proximity behavior, a non-verbal form of emotional signaling. It is how emotionally reserved individuals express interest without verbal confrontation. They may sit near you in a group, gravitate toward your presence during shared activities, or find excuses to remain within your social space. It is not manipulation. It is emotional orientation. Research in attachment theory shows that introverts associate closeness with familiarity. They feel safer when the environment and the person both feel predictable, so their quiet presence is actually a subtle attachment behavior, not indifference. When you notice them nearby, saying little but staying long. That is not a coincidence. It is comfort, and it is communication in its purest form. Part number 3. Thoughtful communication. When introverts communicate, they choose precision over performance. Psychology describes this as reflective processing, where thoughts and emotions are filtered deeply before expression. Introverts dislike small talk because it feels cognitively unrewarding. It does not engage their deeper neural reward circuits tied to meaning and authenticity. Instead, they prefer what psychologists call depth-oriented interaction. Conversations that explore purpose, emotion, and shared values. When they finally message or speak, every word carries weight. They edit texts repeatedly, not because they are unsure, but because they want to convey emotional clarity. Their restraint is not hesitation, it is intention. To an introvert, communication is not a tool for attention. It is a bridge of understanding. And when they start asking deeper questions. Part number 4. The acts of quiet care. Introverts rarely make grand romantic gestures, yet their affection manifests through what psychology terms micro-affectional behaviors, small, consistent, thoughtful actions. They might bring you something you casually mentioned liking weeks ago, or notice when your tone changes after a hard day. This stems from empathetic attunement, the ability to internalize another person's emotional state and respond with care. Unlike overt lovers who express loudly, introverts translate care into precision. Their attention to detail reflects what psychologist Carl Rogers described as unconditional positive regard, a form of love that asks for nothing in return. Part number 5, the inner conflict. When an introvert begins to develop feelings, their emotional world becomes divided. This is called approach avoidance conflict. the simultaneous desire for closeness and fear of vulnerability. Their brain oscillates between two drives: the approach system, which is dopamine-driven motivation to connect, and the avoidance system, which is amygdala-driven fear of rejection. This creates overthinking, rehearsed conversations, second-guessing, analyzing every detail. It is not emotional immaturity. It is cognitive empathy overload. They feel deeply, anticipate outcomes, and try to control emotional risk. So while their heart moves forward, their mind whispers caution. Part number 6, the hidden vulnerability. For introverts, vulnerability is sacred territory. Psychologists refer to this as emotional exposure threshold, the point at which a person feels safe enough to reveal their inner self. They do not open up easily, because their emotions are deeply internalized and rarely validated externally, when they share personal stories, especially painful or formative ones. It signals high trust and emotional commitment. Vulnerability for them is not about confession. It is about connection. They reveal selectively, only to those who have proven emotional consistency. This aligns with attachment-based risk management, where trust is earned through repeated safety signals. Part number 7, the energy exchange. Introverts understand relationships as exchanges of emotional energy. Psychology calls this energy conservation theory. The idea that humans with high sensory sensitivity must protect their energy to avoid social burnout. Because introverts process emotion internally, social interactions can be mentally draining. Yet if being around you feels easy, effortless even, that is a powerful indicator of emotional compatibility. You do not deplete them, you regulate them. Their choice to spend time with you, even at the cost of solitude, reflects trust and comfort. In attachment terms, this signals secure base formation. Part number 8, the silent jealousy. Introverts experience jealousy differently rather than outward expression. They internalize it through emotional suppression. This is not because they do not feel it. It is because they process emotions privately. They may withdraw slightly, their tone softens, or their body language shifts. Signs of what psychologists call nonverbal affect regulation. They refuse to compete or confront, because doing so would violate their emotional principles. Yet, beneath that calm exterior lies sensitivity. Their jealousy is not rooted in possessiveness. Part number 9. The slow confession. When an introvert decides to confess their feelings, it is never spontaneous. Psychology labels this deliberate emotional release, a cognitive process involving long-term emotional evaluation and internal rehearsal. They have analyzed possible outcomes, imagined your reaction, even prepared for rejection, all before a single word is spoken. When they finally say they like you, it is not an impulsive attraction. It is the culmination of trust, time, and self-acceptance. Their confession is deliberate honesty, an emotional milestone, because to them, expressing love is exposing the most private part number of their inner world. And if they reach that point, it means they have concluded one thing: you are worth the risk. Part number 10. The psychology of being one. If you are wondering whether you are an introvert, psychology defines it as the orientation of energy inward rather than outward. Introverts draw energy from reflection, not stimulation. They are more sensitive to dopamine, meaning excessive social input can quickly exhaust them. They think deeply, love intentionally, and need solitude to recharge. But solitude does not mean loneliness. It means restoration. Their love is not impulsive, it is deliberate. They do not seek attention, they seek alignment. In a culture that glorifies loudness, introversion is a quiet rebellion, proof that gentleness can still be powerful. So when an introvert chooses you, it is not random. It is the result of emotional evaluation, inner dialogue, and courage. So how does an introvert love? Not loudly, not publicly, not impulsively, but with quiet conviction, with patience, and with depth. Because to them, love is not about noise, it is about knowing, not about presence, but peace. And when they love you, you will feel it, even in silence.